Here we're good. Hi guys, welcome. So I heard a little bit of bits of conversation. So most of you, have you shopped in the store before? And that's how you found out? No, you just came from
Yeah, my sister
Okay.
shops here. So
Yeah, and we met 2 weeks ago.
No,
last week.
Yeah, like a few days ago.
A few days ago. Okay, right on. Yeah.
I remembered now. I used to work with Lori and Bonnie with Chicks with Bart. And so I used to supply it. So when you're not doing that business anymore, yeah. So that's how I remember. I was like,
Stacy's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
How did you find out about the class? Did you come in here?
I'm the whole30 evangelist.
Hey,
Yeah, well, we were talking about it the other day, and,
They've been trying
she
to-
said, "Hey, there's this seminar. It's perfect timing. It was the same day."
Yeah.
Oh,
we've
that's
been talking
awesome.
about it for a
And
while.
you guys shop in the store.
I was shopping today.
You were shopping
Basically
today.
stayed.
I love
I didn't
it.
know there was a class.
I love
No,
it. There's one
he's
for
here to
everyone.
get out of studying for finals for like an hour.
Hey, whatever it
Support
takes.
for mom.
Whatever it takes. Support for mom and just get out of studying. I'm good with
Right.
that for now. I mean, you got another day or so to study. You got the
Another
weekend.
day.
You got a 3-day weekend.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, cool. Well, I got a little bit about myself. I'm Sharissa. I am a nutritionist, but I'm also an experimental psychologist. So that's what my education is in. I have my master's in psychology, and for the last 4 years, I've been teaching down at the universities. And what happened was lots of things, and I'll tell you my whole story. But I got offered a teaching position before I even graduated. I really love teaching, so it was something that came really naturally for me. It was something that I really wanted to do, and I got my teaching job, and I was like, yes, I get to do what I've dreamt about since I was a little kid, and what I've worked for the last 30 years, and then I hated it. I got super depressed, and I was like, this isn't the dream. This isn't the end game. You know, I love teaching. I love being in front of people. I love helping people, and I love psychology. I've been studying it for forever, but it just wasn't the end game for me. So another thing that happened when I graduated from high school, college, oh my God, I don't know where I am even, what day is it? When I graduated and got my master's degree, I had worked really, really hard and really fast to get everything done because I had babies, and I wanted to make sure that I was done with school and out of that and working and helping to support my family as quickly as I could. Well, after I got that degree and got the job and, was ready to start this yay, I'm in the real world now, I got really, really sick, really sick. So to back up a little bit, that's kind of how I got started in nutrition. But how I got my start just in general was when I was 11 years old, my mom got really sick. My mom's been sick my whole life. She's still around. But at 11 years old, she was bedridden. She was that was it. Lost my mom. She doesn't do anything like mom-like anymore. We didn't have a dad, so I was 11 and stopped my life and took care of my sisters, my baby sisters, who I still love and take care of as much as I possibly can. And my mom now lives in Mexico, and she's doing better. But that was it. She didn't have any kind of life because she has autoimmune diseases, and they told her, that's it. You're stuck. You're sick forever. Here's your pain medication. Say goodbye to your kids. My baby sister was 3 years old. She had no life with my mom. None. She doesn't even remember when my mom wasn't sick. So fast forward, I think to myself, okay, I'm 11 years old and I'm having to take care of the family, and I think I'm going to go be a child psychologist. I'm all yes, I'm so proud of myself for making this decision. I'm going to take care of people and make sure that these kids never feel or end up the way I ended up, and in a home or a situation where they don't have any support from anybody else, and 11 years old having to be an adult is really crazy, horrible. So I, went through and got my master's degree and thought, I'm going to help kids. And then I was the mom who was sick in bed telling my kids I couldn't play with them. I can't hang out with you today. I'm too tired. I'm too sick. I remember all the time, trying to go talk to my mom and knock on the door. She's like, I can't even open the door. You can't even come in. I don't feel good. I don't want to even talk to anybody. And I remember that happening to me. I think okay, this is never going to happen to me. I'm going to be the child psychologist who makes sure that no kids ever get sad. And then I was the mom making my kids sad. And I locked them out. I would lock the door because I was too sick and I didn't feel well enough to have them in. So then my sisters kind of stepped up and they helped me take care of my kids. But I wasn't going to be the sick mom. I wasn't going to be the one for, my mom was sick my whole life. She still is, getting better, but she's living in Mexico now, and she has her own life now, and we lost that whole time. So there really isn't that like mother-daughter relationship anymore, unless it's, the opposite way now, daughter-mother relationship. But I didn't have that, and I thought that I needed to take care of the kids until I got sick. And then I realized that I wasn't ever supposed to take care of the kids. I was supposed to take care of the moms so that we didn't have any more sick moms. So that we don't have to tell our kids ever again, I'm too sick to get out of bed. I'm too tired today. I don't feel good today. I'm in pain today. So I healed myself using food as medicine, changed my diet, changed my lifestyle, reversed my autoimmune diseases, reversed my mom's autoimmune diseases. Now she lives, like I said, in Mexico. She lives on the beach. She's 55 years old and has this like incredible life that she goes down and goes to the swap meet and, has her little friends and is learning how to speak Spanish and has this whole life now that she lost 20 years. That was a big old chunk of time. Not only did she lose, her own part of her own life, she didn't get any of my sister's lives, anything. Because by the time she was starting to kind of come out of this, they had already left. One of them was living with me, one of them was living up having her own babies. Like, she didn't get any time back. So now luckily she has some grandchildren, she can kind of relive those moments, but that almost makes it more painful because she's now having to see what she missed, that she didn't get to raise her own kids, that her kids had to raise her kids. So that's why I do this class. That's why I am so passionate about the whole30. And I'll get into individual reasons why in just a minute. But when you think about food as medicine, you can see that everything you put in your body is either going to make you healthier or it's going to make you sicker. And you can make that step every single day of I'm making healthy cells, I'm making new cells, and I'm getting better. Or you can go backwards and like, oh, I'm just going to eat McDonald's one more day. It's not going to do that big of a deal. It does. Our bodies are regenerating all the time. It's a constant new growth. Now, it can either be new growth negative or new growth positive. So we can weaken our cells or we can strengthen the cells. One thing that we can do to, like if we have, like myself, autoimmune diseases, and we have people who tell me all the time, well, I killed my whatever, I killed my kidneys, I killed my liver, I'm killing my whatever. And the doctor told me I'm going to have to be on this medication forever. Well, it's just not true. It's not true. Our body can regenerate. You can have a brand new body, including your skeletal system, in 2 years. It's constantly regenerating. So if you're giving it all the good stuff, all the nutrients to have that new healthy cell growth, in 2 years you could have brand new everything. You can get younger. I'm giving you the fountain of life back, right? Or youth, whatever you want to call it, fountain of life youth. So food is medicine. And one thing that we've seen kind of lately is really getting kind of trendy is doing these allergy tests, like blood work allergy tests. And that's traditional Western medicine's way of telling you what foods you can and cannot have. So you go to the doctor and you get your blood work done. And they tell you, you get this laundry list of like, you're allergic to bananas and avocados and walnuts and sesame seeds. And you're like, what? I've never had a problem with sesame seeds. How is that what's causing my reaction to whatever? I have the stomach ache and I have no idea what it's from, so it must be the sesame seeds that you never eat, right? No, totally wrong. So what's happening when you get a blood test is they take your blood and there's two ways. They can do the poke test on your back, right? The 100 needles, and then they test with each, like the highest amount of allergens, those kinds of things. Or they'll do the blood test. Either way, what they're testing for is what your body reacts to, the blood that reacts to certain foods, and how much or what particles of food are in your blood. So if they see high rates of certain things in your blood, it comes out as an allergy. So say you eat avocados every single day. If you have any type of compromised gut, you're going to have avocado come up as a reaction in your blood work. Not because you're allergic to avocado, but because you have a compromised immune system or compromised gut system, and those particles of food are ending up in your bloodstream. They absolutely should not be in your bloodstream. Okay, so those allergy tests or the blood tests that I have now are basically a glorified food journal. They're going to test how much of something is in your blood. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're allergic to it. It doesn't mean that you have a problem with it at all. It means that there's something going on digestively that's not working properly, so you're getting food particles in your blood. It shouldn't be there anyways. So that's Western medicine's way of telling you what you should and shouldn't eat, okay? So just as like a background, okay, so you're all here for something, right? I mean, you didn't just, maybe you come in and just stayed. Maybe, but my guess is there's probably something in your life that you're thinking that part is not perfect. Maybe it's you get headaches regularly. Maybe you have a stomach ache after you eat food. Maybe you have acid reflux or heartburn. Maybe you have, bloating or fatigue, or you just don't have as much energy as you want to have. There's got to be some reason why you want to try something like this, why you even want to listen to this kind of information, right? And there's a lot of different things out there. So there's a lot of different weight loss programs. There's a lot of, diets, those types of things. And the Whole30, this program is not a diet. It's not a weight loss program. It's not anything other than a real food allergy test. Okay? Real food allergies. So what is it exactly that you have a problem with? We're never gonna know unless we do something like this and find out for sure. So that's what the Whole30 really is, if you really get to the bottom of it. It's not a weight loss program. It's not a get your energy back program, because most people don't feel better doing the Whole30 until after about day 15. Sometimes you feel worse before you feel better. Okay, that's really typical, that you're going to have a headache or a stomach ache, or you're going to get dizzy one day, or you're going to be really tired one day, or all of these things are going to come up. So really what it is let's get to the bottom of exactly what's causing your problem, your specific problem, and fix it. And not with medication, and not with some magic pill, but with food, and with diet, and with mindset, and with changing the way you think about how you eat, and the way you think about what food does for you. So that's what a Whole30 is. Okay, so we all have some reason why we're here, and I need you to think about whatever that reason is, and I want you to keep that in your mind while we're doing this class tonight, because I want it to be very specific for you. What is it that's causing your problems that would even have brought you to this point in the first place? Because that's really important. We need to know why you want to do something like this. It's not an easy thing to do, right? It's not easy. That's why I'm here. That's why I want to help you. Okay, so traditional medicine, like I said, is allergy testing, food sensitivity testing that's done through your blood or on the needles in your back. Those are basically testing what food particles are in your blood. The first thing I want to ask my doctor every time he asks for that is, why are there food particles in my blood? Isn't there a whole system organized just to keep that crap out? Yes, and it's not working, and that's what we have to fix, and that's what we have to figure out. Okay. So again, on my story, the reason I got my start, the reason I'm so passionate about this is because I had to live with a sick mom. I lost my mom because of that, and I didn't want my kids to feel that way about me. So I'm super passionate about helping people, and I especially want to help people with children. I don't want you to ever say to your kids, I'm too sick to do something today. Because then you're going to raise a bunch of kids, hopefully like me, who will just rise above. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm clearly all over it. No. Anyways, break the cycle though. That's the point. Break the cycle. Don't have it continue. If you have children now, if you have even, older children that are having children, fix it before it gets to them, So that's what I'm all about. Break the cycle. So why would you do, let's talk about what a Whole30 is, first of all. A Whole30 is whole foods for 30 days. It's an elimination diet. In my opinion, it's the best elimination diet there is, and everybody else who's doing an elimination diet right now has taken part of this and changed it in some way. There are some out there that say oh, it's totally fine if you drink alcohol the whole time when you're doing an elimination diet, so we're basically the same thing except you can keep your alcohol. Well, I'm going to give you specific reasons why that we take out the foods that we take out on these diets. I know.
Wine's good for you.
You don't even know.
Okay, wine is great, awesome. What I did when I was doing my Whole30, you're allowed to have kombucha. So at night, when I was like, oh, I'm gonna have my glass of wine, I would take a kombucha, put it in my wine glass,
I used to do
and
that
still
too.
like have my little.
Caffeine.
And there is, but I'm opposite, so like caffeine doesn't keep me up, so you'll have to play with that. Yeah, I just like it keeps me, I'll pass right out afterwards. Okay, so, but I don't take your coffee away. Can I get a little amen? Amen. No, you don't have to take my coffee. Technically, they say you can't have like any kind of creamer or creamer replacements, but I did come up with a whole30 creamer recipe that, ingredients-wise, is perfectly clean. And if that's the only thing that's going to keep you from doing a whole30, I mean, just switch the creamers to the healthy creamer and drink your coffee with the creamer.
Like coconut oil or fast
You
butter,
can
right?
totally do bulletproof, but people who drink coffee with creamer, and I'm talking like, I have clients all the time that say, "Oh, I can't give up my creamer," and I'm like, "Well, what kind of creamer are you drinking?" They're like, Coffee Mate, hazelnut, and I'm like, shelf stable. It's just if you do nothing else, just change the creamer in your diet. Get out of here. You're not ready for a whole30. Just change the creamer, and then come see me in a couple months.
Yeah.
No, and I have an awesome creamer recipe. I show you exactly how to do it. Cashew milk. Just do it in your blender. It takes you like less than a minute. You don't have to strain anything. It's super rich, super creamy. You can do chocolate or you can do vanilla, so you can have that like vanilla creamer. I've done a pumpkin spice. I did pumpkin spice for during the fall last year. I made a pumpkin spice recipe. So those are all up on the page. So if that's the only thing that's keeping you from completing a whole30, we'll figure out a good switch for you. No joke. People tell me that. Oh, I would really love to do a whole30, but I just love my coffee creamer. I will fix that for you. I will, I promise. Okay, so Whole Foods for 30 days. That means perimeter of the grocery store. So meat, vegetables, fruit, spices, tea, coffee, kombucha. What else? Nuts, seeds. Yeah, perimeter of the grocery store. And that's it. I mean, you'd be surprised what you can come up with something so incredible. I mean, it's just eating real food. And I do a Friday Night Live video every week. It's always Whole30 recipe. We do a Tuesday morning live every week. That's always Whole30. So I mean, pretty much not always Whole30, but for the most part Whole30. So there's so many options out there. You'll figure it out. I promise you. Okay, eating plan. So Whole30 consists of an eating plan. It's also a personal challenge, but we say not to do any other challenges during this time. So if you're going to do Whole30, don't go start a new workout program. Don't go start anything else. This is enough of a challenge as it is, okay? So 30 days with Whole Foods, Whole30. And fat. I forgot fat and bacon. We'll get there. Let me just like hang that out there as like a carrot, right? Like, you can have bacon.
I'm feeling better already.
Yeah, coffee, creamer, bacon, avocado, fat. Just get it in. Vanilla bean ghee. We'll talk about all this. Okay, so it also tells the eating plan also tells you specifically what you can and cannot have. So you can have as much meat, vegetables, fruit, nuts, seeds, grains, fat. Not grains. Oh my gosh, where am I? What day is it? Nuts, fats, bacon, tea, coffee, all of that. But we're going to talk specifically about the things that you cannot have. So if it's not on the cannot have list, then we can talk about that in a little bit. Why we do a Whole30? Like I said, it's an elimination diet to find out exactly what's going on with you specifically. But the reason that we do a Whole30 is not just to find out what's going on. It's to change your whole relationship with food. We have this idea about what our plate is supposed to look like. We have this idea of how many times we're supposed to eat a day and what a meal actually consists of. And especially in the United States, we've gotten so accustomed to thinking that a meal is something that you pick up in a bag and eat in your car on the way to doing something else. We've lost that eating is the event. Right? Sit down, enjoy the meal, enjoy the company. We've lost that. Even my husband today, and I have to yell at him if I see him doing it, I yell every day. He doesn't sit down to eat lunch, but he's home. But he's like stands in the kitchen, and he like stands at the counter. And then he comes home later that night and he's like, babe, can you do that stomach thing for me? I do a manipulation technique because he gets a hernia. He gets the hiatal hernias really easily. So I do the manipulation technique, get his hernia to come out, and he's like, oh, I got heartburn so bad. And it's like, that's because your brain thought while you were eating, I need to be taking this work call, and I am standing up. So I'm in that sympathetic nervous system, and I'm not turning anything off. And it's not paying attention to the food or the fact that you need to digest anything. It's paying attention to whatever you're doing here. What has Trump done today? You know, like that's what your brain is looking at, not the food. So we've lost that. So Whole30 doesn't just change your, like, what you're eating and what's on your plate. It's all about how you're doing it. So we're going to change the concept from grain and starch and corn and whatever to protein, fat, veg, and sit down, enjoy your meal, with your company, be together. Today, when I yelled at my husband to sit down and eat his dinner, like eat his lunch, just sit down, babe, please. He's on his phone the whole time. And I'm sitting, I haven't seen you all day. Just enjoy your lunch with me. And he can't, like, he's like scrolling Facebook. Like, what does that matter? Turn off your phone. Enjoy your meal. So that's what a Whole30 is. We're not just focusing on the food. No, I mean, and I do it too. The other day, Friday night, I left here. Saturday night, I left here. I was going to LA for my brother's art show. And I was so hungry, and I knew I was going to need to eat dinner, and that I wasn't going to be able to eat anything at home until 9 o'clock at night. So I grabbed an ice cream sandwich and ate the ice cream sandwich up on the way to work, or up on the way.
Feel a lot better about you.
No, for sure. Like, I'm human. We're going to do these things, but the point is to make the best of the situation when you can. If you're at home and you're standing in front of the dining room table eating your meal, it's not that much of a switch to sit down and put the phone down. It isn't, right? But I mean, if you're running and you got to do something, I get it. We're all human. That's why we have our X bars and why we have certain, other little snacks that'll keep you Whole30 safe and still make it, you're human. I get it. You have other things to do. You're not spending all day in the kitchen. The point is, when you have the opportunity to sit down and enjoy the meal, take it. And maybe it's a switch of, I'm going to do it one meal per day. For me, that's breakfast and dinner, always. Breakfast, I sit at the table because I eat fried eggs, and you can't really stand and eat fried eggs. And then dinner, because I'm with my family for dinner. And that's it. Typically, lunch is like, screaming at my husband, sit down, eat your meal, screaming at the kids, like the dog, why are you kicking the dog? All of the things. Better than being in bed, though, I guess, right? Okay, so why you do a Whole30 is because it's going to change your relationship with food. It's going to change the way we think about why we're eating things. Now it's not just a matter of like, oh, but I love food. So do I. I love food. I am a food fiend. I started cooking when I was 11 years old to feed my family. Like, this is a huge passion of mine. It was the only way I got my stress relief. That's my time. Nobody else comes in my kitchen. They know better. Mama has a sharp knife. Get out. That's my time. I enjoy that. But we're all human. We got to make, it's okay. But we got to change back to that type of lifestyle where we're thinking about food is doing something to our bodies. Every single thing we put in. And it has the opportunity to do something good or something bad. Okay? All right, so we're changing your relationship with food. We're also going to heal some health issues. When we cut out those offending foods, it allows our body that time to heal. So we're going to get that healing time. And then we're going to start what's called reintroductions, where we bring one food group back in at a time. And we see what exactly it was that was causing us the problem. Now, the most common thing that I have people tell me is that they have no problem with dairy. Now, I either have people tell me I have a really bad problem with dairy and I know right away, or I have no problems with dairy. Dairy has never bothered me. I drink a glass of milk every single day. Where am I going to get my calcium from? Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay? Then you do a Whole30 and you accidentally get cheese on something. You're not even going to do it on purpose. You're going to be out at the restaurant, you're going to order something that's totally clean and safe, and they accidentally left the cheese on your burger that's beautifully lettuce wrapped, right? It's gorgeous, looks amazing, caramelized onions, bacon, avocado, cheese. You didn't even know it was there. You ate half the burger. And now, all of a sudden, you have this massive stomach ache, your stomach's all bloated, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm allergic to dairy. Light bulb. Now we know. Now we know, right? For real. Okay, so we're going to heal those symptoms. We're going to We're going to fix problems you didn't even know you had. So food allergies, sensitivities, digestive issues. We're going to make new life habits, longevity. You're going to do all of this without any medication. There's no pill pushing on this direction, okay? It's all about food, get the right things on your plate, and feel awesome because of it. Cool? Okay, what to expect from a Whole30. So it's not all sunshine and roses. I promise you that it's totally worth it. But there's going to be some things that come up from it. So we're going to have some detox symptoms, and that doesn't just happen once. It depends on how sick your body is. If you had a lot of issues going on, you might detox 1, 2, 3 times. It could be something as simple as like, hey, Sharissa, I got this weird headache and it won't go away, and it's been 2 days and I can't, seem to shake it. What is it? And I'll say like, well, it could be dehydrated, or you could just be detoxing. You could get a stomach ache. You could get constipated. You could get dizzy one day, nauseous, something like that, flu-like symptoms, any of those kinds of things. So that might come up. It doesn't last long. It typically goes away pretty fast. And you don't ever have to go through it again if you don't go back into eating the standard American diet. So you'll never have to detox from this again. And I promise you, it's worth it. You're going to get fear, a little bit of fear and confusion. That happens because you start to get a little bit scared of like, well, what ingredients are good then? Here's what happens when you learn about the foods that are bad. When you learn about the things that you're being tricked into eating. Because we think like, oh, this is healthy. I bought it at a health food store. I went to Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is just as sneaky as the next person. They're just as sneaky as everybody else. You have to read the ingredients, right? It's all about what's actually in it. Don't trust something just because it comes from somewhere where you think you can trust. Unless you're in this store, of course, and then buy it a whole damn place because it's awesome. But all these other places, there are sneaky things in the food. Okay, you think you're getting a really good high quality chocolate from Trader Joe's. I used to love Trader Joe's chocolate because I thought like, it's better than Lindt, it's better than everything, like it's clean, it's Trader Joe's. Okay, no, it is not. Wheat, dairy, soy, everywhere, like it is just not high quality. Okay, not always fair trade either. I try to get like fair trade chocolate, But I just mean, once you start to figure out, when you start to read the ingredients, when you start to read the labels, when you start to see what's in your food, like tonight, go home, look in your pantry, and just check the back of the McCormick spice label, and ask yourself, why is sugar the second ingredient, and why the heck do they need corn in my spices? Okay, so just start reading it and start looking and seeing, like, it has nothing to do with the nutritional facts. Okay, you have one on it. Okay, this stuff, the nutrition facts. This doesn't mean anything. All it means is this is what some scientist in a laboratory was able to pull out. This is not being measured against a human body and what it does to the human body and what this consumption actually equates to. So cut this out of your mind completely. I don't want you to count calories, carbohydrates, fat, sugar, none of it, because it doesn't mean anything for a human body. This is science laboratory. What you need to know and what you need to pay attention to is what's in it. Okay, so this is a hot chocolate, like, give it to your kids. This one's extra dark chocolate with vanilla and Himalayan sea salt. Okay, that's what it says on the front. Dark chocolate, Himalayan sea salt, vanilla. So what are the ingredients? Unroasted cacao, coconut sugar, cacao butter, vanilla bean, and Himalayan sea salt. That's it. So if that's what they're advertising, check and make sure that's what they're actually selling you. Because if you're going to spend $5, $6, $7 on a product, it shouldn't have any corn or sugar or soy in it. That's all going to take your body a step backwards. So if you're going to spend the money, make sure it's good, like cellular regeneration, everything that goes in. And make sure what they're advertising is what they're actually selling you. This part, I don't care about any of this. Someone who's, this is the old generation, right? This is, even me, this is what we were taught to look at. I was a competitive runner, I was an athlete, we looked at this. I need 2,500 calories a day because I burn off 1,000 because I run every single day. I don't run right now, but when I was, that's what I would count. Then I was starving my body of the nutrients that it needed, let it break down so much that I got injured and now I can't run. Okay, so I'm working myself back up. I plan by next year to be running again, but I see runners now. This is so sad. And I want to run them over. Like, I'm so jealous. I was forever. So this stuff, this count calories, like, oh, I can't have it because, you know, my macros aren't right for today. Or like, oh, I need an extra 30 grams of fat because, no. Just eat, make sure it's not crap, and be satisfied.
Just eat and make sure
Just
it's not
eat,
crap.
be
That is
satisfied.
terrible.
Just
Yeah.
eat. Just eat and be satisfied. Make sure it's not crap. Read the ingredients, not the nutrition facts. Okay, so you will get a little bit of fear and confusion from food. That's what this whole thing is circling back to, because you start to read the labels and you start to think, well, then what is good? What can I have? Okay, I started a whole hashtag maybe 2 years ago when I started changing my diet. People used to ask me every day, and I was offended. I felt like hurt because I had to do all of these things and I was in pain and I was suffering, and yet I was changing my diet, and people would ask me, well, then what can you eat? Like, oh, you're too skinny, you're not eating enough, what can you eat? Like, I eat real freaking food, and I eat bacon every day. Every day. And I don't exercise because I can't yet. Every day I eat bacon. Avocado, fat, all of that. And I lost 50 plus pounds just by changing my diet. Not only did I lose the weight,
every day.
eating bacon every day. Sometimes I'll
Every
eat up to like 5
single
pieces.
day. Is it nitrate free?
Well, I get my bacon from Naughty Pig Butcher.
Yeah.
And I have them cook it for me. They what is it called? Smoke it. They smoke it without sugar. They do it no sugar bacon for me. I'd hate to have you follow me there because like I typically get 10 pounds at a time, and I go in and buy them out, and then they're like, there's none left for anybody else.
It's a great place.
It's a great place. You can also eat Peterson's bacon. It has the whole30 stamp on it, and Garrett's bacon just came out recently, and it's a little cheaper. And it doesn't have the sugar. So just, again, read the ingredients. Any type of cured meat is typically going to have sugar. They cure it with sugar, unless you're buying something specifically that doesn't have it. So just check those things. But that fear and confusion hopefully will go away within this month, because I'm going to show you and teach you all the things that you can and can't have, and we have really great options for those sneaky foods. Almost all of your blended spices, if they're like McCormick or any of those higher up brands, they're going to have corn, maltodextrin, and sugar. Maltodextrin keeps it from clumping, and the sugar is what makes you keep going back to it. It's a very addictive thing. We have all of our spices are clean, and it's just spices. We also have like the mayonnaise, the dressings, and all of those things that you really can't buy in a normal grocery store, because even when they say they're good, it's like all organic. Annie's, right? Annie's, I used to love them. They were so like they started out so clean, and now their ingredients are like canola oil, soybean oil.
Didn't they just sell out to GM? Annie's, I think they did.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Justin's, they sold out. Like all these smaller companies that started out doing the right things, they just found cheaper ingredients, and they're selling them to us without us ever really knowing, because we're not paying attention to the ingredients. We're looking at the nutrition facts. We're looking, oh, this doesn't have so much sugar in it. This doesn't have very much fat in it. This is awesome. Well, the sugar is coming from strawberries, and the fat is coming from coconut oil. It's awesome. Get it. Eat it. Love it. Okay. You'll also have that sense of relief, because you're going to have symptom relief. Your body is going to take a break. You're going to throw your body a life raft here. Right now, you're drowning in the middle of the ocean, and your body is like, please help me, stop putting the crap in. And you're going to say, like, here's your life vest. And you're like, yes. Relief, okay? That's what we get from this program. We get a sense of relief, we get detox, and we're going to have symptom relief. So your body's going to have relief, and your body's going to have less of those symptoms, because you're giving it an opportunity to heal. Only good things can come from this. Okay, so any questions up to this point? I have a tendency to talk quickly. I apologize. I try to always say that in the beginning, but then I don't, because I talk too fast. It's always my critique. So I teach down at the universities, and they have to review you every year, because I don't want a full-time position. And every year they're like, talking too fast, slow down. And I'm like, I can't help it, this is me. Get out. This is why I record it, so you guys can go back and listen to this at any point. And if there's any confusion or any comments, questions, I'll give you my cell phone number, you can call me. Okay, so let's talk about why we take each food category out and what those things are that are coming out, okay? So real quickly, we're taking out sugar, all sugar, including even the good ones. So I really like maple syrup, and I really like raw honey, and I really like coconut palm sugar. Those are awesome, awesome sugars to have after you've done your Whole30, and they're perfectly safe, really low glycemic index, won't spike your blood sugar as high as something like agave or, anything else really. But during your Whole30, all sugar is taken out. And the reason that we do that, the reason that sugar gets taken out of your diet is because regardless of what the sugar is, even fructose, so the sugar that comes out of like your apples or your peaches, something like that, triggers a center in your brain that says like, ooh, yes, I like that. Do it again. Sugar, like cane sugar, is so addictive. It's one of those like top drugs to detox from. You're gonna get the sugar cravings, that sugar demons that come, right? We gotta slay the dragon. So the way we do that is we cut out sugar completely so that you cut the craving for it. So my neighbor who just did her Whole30 2 months ago, she's a huge sugar, like sweet tooth. She can't cope without her sweets, right? She was one of my coffee creamer girls with the really bad like coffee mate, Girl Scout cookie flavors. You guys saw those? Yeah. Okay, so like the really bad crap. She's the reason I made this. She's the reason I made that video. She's actually in the video with me because I was like, this is for you, and I let her take it home. I don't really drink coffee, so she's the reason I did this. But she had the hardest time. She was like, I'm such a sugar addict, and she was at my Whole30 party. Like I had this launch party, and she told everybody there. She was like, well, I'm gonna do my Whole30 and I probably won't eat dairy again. I probably won't eat gluten again. I'll eat some of the grains, but I'm definitely gonna eat sugar again. Like facepalm, right? She hasn't even started. She hasn't even started. Like not even day 1 yet, okay? I'm definitely gonna go back to sugar. She has like very little sugar craving now. Like now she eats, she used to eat like 4 or 5 cookies at a time. Now she eats a half, if anything at all. And this was a huge success for me. She was like, oh, I didn't realize how much sugar was affecting me. Sorry, can't say it with a straight face. And like, I don't really need it anymore. Oh, is that so? It's amazing. I never would have ever known or guessed. Okay, sugar is out. Sugar is out for a lot of reasons. Sugar is out because of the addiction, and sugar is out because it's sugar. So sugar, when it goes into your body, every single thing we eat turns into sugar, turns into glucose. Glucose is the usable form of sugar for our brain. We need to have it. That's how you eat carbs, you eat protein, whatever you eat, it turns into glucose. The only difference between the different food categories is how long it takes for something to turn into glucose. Okay, when we hit our body with a lot of sugar all at once, it hits our pancreas, and our pancreas has to produce the insulin. The insulin grabs onto the sugar. It's like this little bus driver that comes and is like, let me pick up the sugar. Come on in, guys. And then it takes it to the cells that need the sugar. So if you're exercising really hard, your muscles need recovery, you're sitting in a classroom, your brain needs recovery, the glucose is going to go where it needs to go. When we eat high amounts of sugar at one time, so you say you sit down and you eat a big old piece of birthday cake, doesn't have very good fat, it doesn't have very good carbs, it just has like bleached whole wheat flour, white flour, whatever that is, white sugar, white frosting, all of that stuff. That's a big dump of sugar into your body, big hit of glucose. That type of sugar converts immediately. There's no conversion necessary. Your body doesn't have to say like, oh, how do I break this down and then turn into glucose? It just goes right to glucose. It hits your bloodstream, and the insulin that has to be produced has to happen really fast, and it's a lot at once. What happens is we don't typically need all of that sugar. We don't typically need all of that glucose in our body or in those cells. So that just ends up getting stored in the insulin. That insulin, if it stays in your body for more than a couple of hours, becomes toxic, and your body has to get rid of it somehow, so it stores it in fat cells. That's how our body stores and protects us from toxins. We don't know how to process toxins out of our body. There are things that our body naturally knows how to detox out and clean out properly through the liver, phase 1, phase 2, out through the kidneys, go through your digestive system in that way. And there are things that it doesn't know how to do. So when we have excess amounts of cortisol, we have excess amounts of insulin, those things get toxic and then get stored in your body, in your fat cells. Eating fat like ghee, coconut oil, butter, olive oil, avocados, all those things, they don't make you fat. What makes you fat is the sugar. The sugar is getting stored in your body as the insulin in your fat cells. If your body doesn't have enough fat cells to store all the insulin, it will make more fat cells to store the insulin. When you get sick, when you experience detox, what's happening is all that insulin that became chemically toxic is coming out of your cells. That makes you feel crappy. That's what detox is. It's not anything else that you're putting in, it's that crap is coming out of your cells, and you feel that. Anytime crap goes in, and anytime crap comes out of the cells, that's when you're gonna feel sick. Okay? So sugar's out. Then, what else? Alcohol. Alcohol comes out because exactly the same reason as sugar. Alcohol turns into sugar in your body immediately. So the exact same thing happens. The same processes I just talked about with sugar, where it's spiking the insulin levels, hits your bloodstream too quickly, you get a big old dose. What are you typically doing if you're having a glass of wine at night? Like, are you gonna go run around the block? Are you gonna go get on the treadmill while you're drinking your wine? You're relaxing. So does your body need the sugar when you're relaxing? No. So you can pretty much guarantee if you're drinking a glass of wine at night, that's spiking your blood sugar and you're getting that insulin storage.
So we have to go jogging for
Well, this is what I'm saying is if you're not going to use the sugar, it's going to stay. And this is excessive, right? Like there's some that you need. Our brain burns more calories at night when we're sleeping than it does during the day. It uses 20% of its energy, mostly while we're sleeping. So we still need some calories. If you wake up randomly in the middle of the night and you have no idea why, and then you can go back to sleep, it's typically blood sugar. Your blood sugar crashed and your body is waking you up because the adrenaline has to kick off. If your blood sugar is too low, your adrenaline kicks in, and adrenaline will wake you up. So if you don't eat enough of a good meal, like a good protein, good fat, good carb before you go to bed, you're going to have those like random wake-ups. Alcohol will wake you up in the middle of the night too, because when the sugar wears off, you'll get woken up too. Okay? So I want you to sleep well. I want you to have the best sleep of your life doing the Whole30, and we got to cut the alcohol out and the sugar out in order to do that. The next thing that gets cut out is the grains. Grains contain inflammatory proteins like gluten. They're also fermentable, but not fermentable sitting on your couch or your counter, but they get fermented in your guts. Now there's two things that happen with fermented foods. Fermented foods are awesome, okay? We have like beet kvass, we have the sauerkraut. These are fermented foods that the bacteria has grown on them. They have a colony of bacteria that's grown in order to make these foods. And you're eating those good bacteria, and that's helping to flourish and change and balance your gut. If you eat grains, peanuts, there's some legumes, which we'll get to talk about in just a second, those don't ferment outside of the body, they ferment inside the body. But when you're fermenting foods in your body, you're creating a whole bad colony of bad bacteria. Okay? Outside of the body fermented foods, awesome. Inside of the body fermented foods, not awesome. We're creating the opposite thing that we want to have happen. We're doing more bad bacteria, we're stifling the good bacteria, and we're creating an environment that's pretty hostile in your gut. Okay, those grains also become inflammatory. Like I said, they're inflammatory grains. When you have inflammation in your gut, it opens up channels in your gut and creates what's called leaky gut. You've heard of leaky gut before? Where our gut is not this like strong super wall. It's very permeable. Things can get in and out if we have the imbalance of our gut flora. So what we're supposed to have is you have this big, nice digestive system, and we have these linings in our digestive system, and then right inside of that is this great lining of good bacteria, and they're like your white soldiers, right? Your little like white knights protecting you from all the bad stuff. Pew, pew, pew. Then inside of that, living in our digestive system, we have bad bacteria, and that's okay. We need a little bit of yeast, we need a little bit of bacteria, and it kind of they keep each other where they need to be. The good bacteria stay strong because they're killing the bad bacteria, and you're feeding the good bacteria with things like kombucha and beet kvass and all of that. So you're feeding the good bacteria and you're keeping that balance. When we eat things that cause inflammation in the gut or ferment in the gut, we're switching that flora, so now we have bad bacteria lining, good bacteria trying to survive inside the gut, letting all kinds of things in and out, pathogens in and out of your digestive system. And here's the magic key of how those food particles got in your bloodstream in the first place in order for you to test positive in an allergy test. There's some type of permeability that got out, those things got attacked, got in your bloodstream, and now we're seeing those reactions. Which never were there before, right? These just things, you come out of nowhere, like, never had a problem ever eating orange slices, and now I eat orange slices and I get a heartburn. What happened? Something changed, something shifted, and we need to fix it. We need to bring it back. Okay? Okay, the most important reason that we take grains out is because of phytates and phytic acid, which are anti-nutrients. So anti-nutrients are just what they sound like they are. They block the absorption of nutrients. Most specifically, they block absorption of minerals. So your magnesium, your zinc, your copper, all of those things that we need in order to function properly are getting blocked. That absorption is getting blocked. So then we see people who are drinking tons of milk and eating whole wheat bread, but then also have osteoporosis and vitamin D deficiencies. Well, why am I having vitamin D deficiency if I drink all the milk that you say is fortified with the vitamin D? Why am I getting sicker? Well, it's because we're blocking those nutrients. They don't actually get absorbed. That's another reason why I strongly recommend you don't read those nutrition fact labels. It says you're getting 100% of your vitamin C. Well, is it actually vitamin C that your body will absorb? Or is it just vitamin C that they were able to pull out in the lab? Or it's actually not even vitamin C, it's a chemical structure that looks like vitamin C in a lab, but your body is like way smarter than that and says, this is crap, I'll put it in your fat cells. Okay. So there's nothing useful in grains. When you go back into reintroductions and you want things like a little bit of white rice or a little bit of quinoa or some lentils, things like that, they're not bad, they're just not going to do anything good for you either. So there's nothing that people ask me all the time, like, where am I going to get my fiber? Where am I going to get my iron? Well, you're going to get it from fruits and vegetables. That's where it came from. That's where it comes from. And it's way higher in those things than it is in the grains that have been beat to death. Okay, legumes are out. Legumes include nuts, soy. I'm sorry, not nuts. Why do I say that every time? They include soy and peanuts. Every time I say that, every time. Yes, legumes and beans. Beans are the same as legumes unless they're properly prepared. So unless you're soaking them, sprouting them, cooking them all day, they're not going to be absorbed into your body. They're not going to be broken down. You know you guys know what happens when you eat corn? Yeah. I feel like it comes out bigger than it did when it went in. Okay, it's like it found its other half. Right? We eat our corn on the cob, and you're like, your mom's like in your back of your head, chew your food. And I'm like, Mom, I swear I chewed the food. It found its other piece and like went back together. So if it comes in whole, maybe you chewed, maybe you didn't, and it comes out whole, what are you getting from it? Nothing. Beans are exactly the same, except they're black, so you can't see them. That's it, though. They go in, they come out the same. Food in our lower GI, especially in our small and large intestine, the food particles are not supposed to be big. We're supposed to have already broken them down. That's why they go through this whole process. That's why we have stomach acid, and they get all squished, and you're supposed to chew your food, and then it goes into this like much smaller tube, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because that's how the bacteria are going to be able to feed on it in your gut. And we have to feed the bacteria in our gut. We have to feed everything. That's how we get our nutrients. If the particles of food aren't broken down small enough, we're not getting anything. They're going to come in, go out the same way. However, they caused a lot of inflammation on their way down. Because when food gets that big in our digestive system, we're going to have a lot of inflammation when our body's trying to do what it's supposed to do, and we're standing in the way of that. Okay? So the same thing with the grains as it is with the legumes and the beans. Soy is cut out because soy creates and promotes estrogen growth in your body. Now, just naturally, estrogen is a very strong hormone, and it is created by our body naturally. We create and produce our own estrogen. We don't need anybody else giving us more estrogen. Also, being highly stressed, high cortisol rates promotes estrogen. Walking outside, breathing our disgusting air that we have to breathe now, dry cleaning, your chemicals in your washing machine, the dish soap that you use, all of these things are already estrogen promoting. So the way we got to get these things back down is we cut the soy out. When you cut soy out, it allows the estrogen levels to go back to normal, what they should be at their own. And because our hormones all work together, they all work in unison, they don't work one on another. You cannot just come and say like, I'm going to increase my progesterone without doing anything else to my body. No, you increase progesterone, testosterone is also going to increase, estrogen is going to lower, and cortisol is going to lower. It all works together. Estrogen and progesterone just happen to be on the same tug of war. We have receptor sites on every single one of our cells in our body, and they have a receptor for estrogen or progesterone. They can clog the same receptor site, but they do different things to the body. So if you have too much estrogen in your body, it's going to plug that receptor site on the cells in your body, and it doesn't allow progesterone to be attached at all. They work on the same tug of war. You have too much estrogen, you don't have enough progesterone. So when we take out the estrogen-inducing foods, we balance everything back up. We have a natural amount of estrogen, a natural amount of progesterone, natural amount of testosterone, and not so high of cortisol. Cortisol is good, just not in high doses.
I have a question.
Please.
So if you are, this is something, I just read the It's All About Food book. Or it starts with food? Yeah, it starts with food. That's what it is. But I don't remember seeing anything in it about hormone replacement therapy. So if you're on hormone replacement therapy, which I take progesterone and estrogen.
Yeah.
How's that going to affect this? I mean, is that okay? Is it?
It's okay. What you'll end up finding is that you'll need less and probably none at all at some point, unless for some reason you don't have a uterus or ovaries. Those even in those cases, we can find other ways for our body to produce those hormones. So what you'll end up finding is that you won't need as much of the replacement. So what ends up happening, people who come to me, they do the whole30, they're on like really heavy pain medication, or they're on some type of hormone replacement, thyroid hormones, any of these things. What ends up happening is your body balances itself, and you realize that you don't need those things anymore. They start causing you more problems than good. And then you'll naturally be able to get off of those types of things. But not because I'm telling you get off, they're bad for you, but because your body is going to fix itself.
Right.
Our body has every bit of tool and information to fix and heal itself. But the problem is we keep getting in the way. Okay, I think I'm doing the right thing by adding this, 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 and this. And my body's like, stop. I know how to do it. Get out of my way. Ultimate micromanager right here.
So even with like natural compounded hormones, you'd say that you might not,
You might not need them. Yeah, you might not need them. I mean, there's a time and a place for hormones, and I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just saying your body knows how to fix itself, and there's something that happened that overproduced one hormone over the others. So if we can figure out what that was and kind of troubleshoot and go backwards and say like, hey, the reason this happened is because when I had my children, my thyroid stopped operating properly and didn't get the right things that it needed, so then I started going wonky on all my hormones. Okay, well, let's take out the things that caused the problem in the first place, let the thyroid heal, and then everything balances. So that's the point. I'm not trying to say like, you can't do any of the things your doctor says, or they're all, whatever. Take everything that you hear with a grain of salt. But know that when you do these kinds of things, when you change your diet, when you change your lifestyle, your body will start to remember how to do this stuff. It'll start to remember how to detox on its own. It'll start to remember how to get the stuff out that wasn't supposed to be there. Right now, it's just in crisis mode. Our body's constantly being fought against. Once like, hey, I want to wake up at 8 o'clock, and you're like, no, we got to be at work at 7. We got to be up at 5. So, okay, well then put me to bed at 8. No, I can't go to bed earlier than 11:30. Okay, now we're fighting against our body. Our body doesn't stand a chance. It doesn't stand a chance. But if we get the sleep that we need, and we get the food that we need, and we're getting satisfied, then our body's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm going to pay you back by fixing you. Okay, heal yourself.
How about flaxseed? I heard
Yeah.
that is high.
Flax seeds they're phytoestrogens, so they also promote estrogen. Phytoestrogens tell your body to make more estrogen. Flax seeds themselves are not taken out on the Whole30. Flaxseed oil and ground flax meal, those kinds of things, they shouldn't be anywhere in your diet. Flax seeds themselves are very fragile.
The whole seeds, you mean?
The whole seeds are okay.
Okay.
The flax seeds themselves are very fragile, so if you grind them up, they go rancid really quickly. If you extract oil from them, the oil's bad before it even gets in your fridge. But if you're doing whole flax seeds, it's okay. It's acceptable on the Whole30. We have some like great crackers that have whole flax seeds in them. But don't do 2 tablespoons of flaxseed in your, smoothie every day. Or, my mother-in-law, I have a good story for you guys. My mother-in-law, she was having, when I first met her, this was like 10 years ago, she had what's called frozen shoulder. Have you ever heard of frozen shoulder? Okay, so she couldn't lift she had been doing work on it, but she couldn't lift her arm past like here, and maybe like here on the side, and nothing back, no back motion at all. So we did all kinds of things to help her. She went to she had like laser therapy, she had chiropractic, she had massage, she did cupping, she did acupuncture. Nothing really fixed the problem. She went to a really great personal trainer, they were working on her muscle strength, but she still couldn't do everything. There was all this swelling and inflammation back there. So I use what's called muscle testing, where I kind of get myself out of the picture and I do muscle testing. It's applied kinesiology, and you put whatever the object is that you want to test and see if it works for your body or not on your body, and we can test your own muscle strength to see if it's strong or not. So she was really frustrated with me one day. I got her on all these supplements. I got her on a really great diet, and she's like, "Mom, or like, Shrissa, I don't understand. Why do I still have this pain? Why do I still have this inflammation?" I said, "Get out every single thing that you eat during the day." She's on she's got like a pattern of what she eats, like for breakfast, lunch, dinner, pretty much the same thing every day. Get it all out. Salad dressing, everything. We muscle tested it. It was her flax meal that she was putting in her bowl of oatmeal every morning. I was like, this is it. This is what's weak. You can't have this anymore. So we took it out of her diet. In 2 days, the inflammation went down. 2 days. 10 years of horrible pain and inflammation and swelling, and in 2 days we took it out and she was doing better. So it's just amazing what that little change can do. You have no idea how much your body is trying to fight against how much estrogen it has. If you have too high estrogen, you don't have any testosterone. Testosterone is what's going to give you that like energy all day long, the ability to rebuild your muscle, and all of the things that come along with that. If you're too high on one, you're not going to be able to get up on the other one. Okay? All right, so beans, I said soy, peanuts. Peanuts are not actually a nut, they're a legume. So they're taken out for the same reason that legumes are taken out. They're in a pod, we don't eat them, okay? They also have lectins. Lectins are resistant to digestion. They can cross into the into the bloodstream, and they can produce inflammation. So peanuts are out. Every other nut, awesome. Macadamia nuts, walnuts, Brazil nuts, go crazy.
Almond.
What's that?
Almonds.
Almonds, of course.
You like almond butter? Or...
Almond butter is awesome. Yeah, absolutely. I always forget about almonds because I feel like they're just like,
If they're sprouted.
sprouted.
Sprouted almond
raw.
butter is better than regular.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What else is out? Dairy. All dairy products. All dairy products. Yogurt, cheese, milk. We are the only mammal, humans, the only mammal that drinks milk after being weaned. Okay, you don't see cows out on the pasture, 10 years old, like, "Hey mom, gonna get some more milk?" That doesn't happen. We're the only ones. And the reason we do it is because we think we're getting like vitamin D and the calcium, right? Anybody have any idea where the highest rate of osteoporosis is in the United States? What's that?
United States.
Yeah, where in the United States?
Where in Wisconsin?
Yeah, in
where
Wisconsin.
yeah.
In Wisconsin. Wisconsin has the highest rate of osteoporosis in the United States. They're also the place that sells the most cheese and milks. Okay? Wisconsin just banned 2 months ago now, Kerrygold butter. You guys ever use Kerrygold butter? It's only grass-fed butter. It's so
it's
incredible.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just banned it in Wisconsin. It's a $1,000 fine if you get caught selling Kerrygold butter in your store. So people are crossing state lines and coming back with like 500 pounds to put in their freezer because it's illegal. Because it's actually a good dairy source. And if you're killing the dairy industry in Wisconsin, the highest selling in the industry, you're going to see a lot of issues, right?
What about artificial sweeteners?
Such as like xylitol, sorbitol.
Yeah, aspartame.
No, she's
Well,
not-
aspartame is like,
she's talking about artificial.
Can you
Oh,
take
oh.
artificials? Can you have artificial sweeteners?
no. I mean, you shouldn't anyways. You shouldn't at all anyways.
Ever.
Stevia with me?
No.
No, I mean, here's the problem with stevia. I don't like it anyway, like just the taste-wise of it. It tastes like chemicals to me. Stevia starts out as this leaf, okay? If you're gonna grow stevia in your backyard, it's super easy to grow. It grows like a bush. Just cut off a couple of leaves and throw it in your smoothie, or you want it to sweeten things, go for it. It's so sweet, it's awesome, it's a plant. But how did that awesome little green leaf turn into this powder, this white, lighter than air powder? And what did we lose in that process? Okay, think about those kinds of things when we're like, okay, well, this is a substitute, it's good, it comes from a natural source. It does, but that natural source is perfectly edible. It's not like you're going to go out to the sugarcane fields and just like use the sugarcane. Stevia, you could actually use the plant. And if you're going to do it that way, I'm all for it. But I don't like the replacements, the powder. I just don't understand how it got to that point.
But not on whole30.
No sweeteners on whole30. No sugar at all on whole30.
Not even honey or anything.
Not honey, not maple syrup, nothing. Nothing. We're killing the sugar dragons here. We're working towards a common goal. We got to cut the sugar cravings out totally. You don't want to be stuck to sugar for the rest of your life. Let's break the habit now and start this good process. Now, I Saturday night I had a, paleo ice cream sandwich for dinner. It happens. It's all good. It's maple syrup. Not on Whole30. After Whole30, come see me. We'll have an ice cream sandwich party. Okay, so no dairy. Dairy has lactose, which spikes the insulin. We're the only mammals that drink it after we're weaned. Also, milk in its natural form has two enzymes, a protein and an enzyme, lactose and lactase. Lactase is burned off when they do the process of homogenizing and pasteurizing it. It gets burned off. That enzyme is what is naturally in the milk to digest the lactose. If you don't have lactase, you cannot digest lactose. We are all lactose intolerant. Everybody is, because we weren't ever meant to have lactose on its own. We're supposed to have the lactose with the lactase so that it can be digested. Okay? It also contains a protein called gluten. Casein. Oh my god. Gluten and casein, the two proteins look the same. Like if you put them up on top of each other, they're very similar. Your body sees them as the same protein and attacks them in the same way. So people with autoimmune diseases, casein, that protein, and gluten, that protein, they get attacked the same way. Okay? They look the same to the body, unfortunately. When you eat things like ghee has had the casein removed from it. Kefir yogurt, which is 24 to 48 hour fermented dairy products, that has the casein and the lactose removed from it. Those are the two bad things from dairy. If you can get the lactose out and the casein out, or if you have no autoimmune diseases and no problem with casein, get the whole raw milk that has the lactase in it still. That has been shown to do really well for people. Okay. Also on the list of things to take out are the seed oils. So peanut oil, soybean oil, corn oil, safflower, sunflower, sesame, and flax. The reason we take those out, they're good oils. Some of them are good oils, most of them not. But the reason we take them out is they're really high in omega-6. If you have a lot of omega-6 without any omega-3s, it becomes inflammatory. You have to have balance, okay? It's like taking a B vitamin. You don't ever want to take one B vitamin. They don't work that way. You have to take them all together. So if you're doing omega-6, you got to have the omega-3. So we don't do those nuts and seed oils because they're just too high in that inflammatory causing acids. So those come out. What's on my plate? What do you get to eat? Any questions about what you don't get to eat on Whole30?
Sure,
Yeah.
so do you, at this point, do you want to differentiate when canola is okay and not okay? Well, in my book, it's never okay. But you want to differentiate.
I know, I never mention it. Okay, so we don't buy these oils, okay? Don't put them in your pantry. If they're in your pantry now, take them out. But if you're in a pinch, you're at a restaurant, you're ordering a meal, and it has canola oil on it because they always do, some form of canola or soybean oil, it's okay. You're not setting yourself back. But you don't cook with it, don't keep it at home, don't do it on a regular basis, and try not to eat out if you can. If you can eat at home, if you can make most of your meals at home, or you can buy them from good quality sources, we always have boxed lunches in the fridge. We always have pre-made meals in the freezer. And right behind us, like literally one street over, that next intersection over there's a place called SoCal Fresh. The owner over there, he makes Whole30 meals, and they have a pickup time every day from 11 to 3. So you can go and pick up a Whole30 approved meal if you don't want a boxed lunch here, and get something that you know is clean from a clean source. So in a pinch, you can even order those. I have a client who orders 5 lunches a week. They deliver to your house. Their minimum is 5. So you know, like, oh, I got breakfast, that's easy, eggs, bacon, fruit, whatever. I got dinner because I'm making dinner for everybody. It's meat, veg, fat. But lunches are crazy. You're running around a million places. Have your lunches delivered to you. Don't even stress about it. Okay? There's options. We can totally figure this out. But if you're in a pinch, you're at a restaurant, it doesn't set you back. The reason I say it doesn't set you back is a Whole30 is not at all something you do Monday through Friday and you party on the weekends. Okay? If you go to Taco Tuesday with your friends on day 13, day 14 then becomes day 1. Okay? You don't get to go backwards and then start like, oh, I'm just going to party all the weekends, like it's my birthday, I'm going to have a margarita. Okay, that's fine, but tomorrow's day 1. So don't waste it. Just do this, like, give yourself 30 days.
Only 30 days.
It's only 30 days. And I have to tell you that it is not, there's never, ever, ever going to be a good time. Okay, there's always going to be a wedding. There's always going to be Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, whatever. Always. There's never going to be a good time. I had my Whole30 clients from this past month, they finish up in 5 days. They had 30th birthday, her 30th birthday, 2 weddings, graduation parties, and Mother's Day. And they stayed clean the whole time. You can do it. There's never a good time. There's never going to be a good time for this. But I can help you through those things too. Okay? So what's on my plate? As many vegetables and fruit as you want. Protein that comes from an animal source, seafood, beef, lamb, eggs, poultry, pork, bacon. Fats, so cooking fats would be like your animal fats, ghee, bacon fat. I like to cook a big old batch of bacon and save my bacon fat and then use that to cook with. You can use clarified butter, which is ghee. You can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil. You can also use avocado oil. Just watch the burn rates on those. So if you roast with olive oil, you got to keep it at 350 or lower. If you roast with avocado oil, I believe it's 425 or lower. So just make sure you're keeping your temperatures consistent. You can have eating fats. You can have avocado, coconut butter, nuts, and nut butters. You can have nuts and seeds. You can have all the herbs and spices that you want, but like I said, check those ingredients because they can often have, hidden corn, hidden sugar, those types of things. You can have, for beverages, you can have coffee, you can have coconut water, but in moderation. Coconut water should not be used as a substitute for water. It is naturally high in sugar, but it is also naturally high in your electrolytes. So you can use it as a pre-workout, post-workout, while you're running as, something to get all those things back in. The best place I like to use coconut water is hot yoga. You ever done hot yoga? You sweat out all your vitamins, like you're tasting sweat, you're tasting that salt. That's all your sodium coming out of your skin. So you gotta replace the minerals. You gotta replace all of that. So you can do a little bit of salt water while you're doing your workout, or add coconut water. Have it before or after and replace those electrolytes. You can also have kombucha, mineral and sparkling water, still water, tea of all varieties, and vegetable juice. Whole30 is not, like, you don't do fruit juices, so no orange juice, lemonade, apple juice, any of those things. Eat your fruit if you want fruit. Don't drink your sugar because it's just straight sugar. You might as well, like, get some fiber with it too. Yeah.
Can you do sparkling water?
Yeah.
Maybe just fresh lemon in there? Or not the... Can you buy the one on the shelf that has...
Melissa Hartwig, who's the creator of Whole30, drinks LaCroix.
Okay.
So if that says anything.
Okay.
I mean, it's still canned, still BPA lined. Still says natural ingredients. But if you're like hankering for something, go for it. Yeah, I like to do Perrier with like lime and lemon and mint and that kind of stuff. But yeah, absolutely. And then kombucha. Kombucha has that great kind of tangy flavor. If you get the one in the black bottle, it's 2% alcohol, so drink it in your wine glass.
Thank you very much.
I was all about that when I first got started. Okay. And then after your Whole30, this is changing your lifestyle. It's changing you to being a clean eater. It's changing you to learn all kinds of new things. When you start reintroductions, it'll be things like, good I was going to say good grains, good healthy grains. It's going to be good things that are coming back, and you're going to know exactly what was bothering you, and you can really set your lifestyle based on that. So it's a 30-day group that's going to change your life for the rest of your life. I don't want you to think of it as like, this is a 30-day challenge, and on day 31 I'm going back through my drive-through. Like, no, this is going to change your life forever. Like, you're not going to want to go back through this detox. You're not going to want to go back through feeling bad again. What the biggest struggle that I have with people as a nutritionist is I'm selling you something that you don't even know you could dream about. You didn't even know how good you could feel. It's hard for me to tell people, I'm selling you a dream that you have to try really hard to understand because you've never felt well enough. And give me a month, I'll change your life, and then you'll be singing my praises forever. I swear. Okay, reintroductions, we'll talk about that. So what you get with a Whole30 is you're changing your life. You're changing the whole way you think about everything. Okay, and I want to be there to help you do this. Now, this whole night, it was me giving you as much information as I possibly can, and I want you to be successful. I want you to be incredibly successful. So I've written out a 17-page PDF that I'll email out to you, and I want to be your coach. I want to help you through this process. So this is my free night, but I also coach you through the whole program. So it's $200. You get me for the month. You get 2 private sessions with me. One, I like to do one in the beginning to find out why you're doing this in the first place. I need to know your why so I can keep you on track. And then one at the end so that I can help you through reintroductions. I'm going to email you the book, but the Whole30 is really a, blanket, this is what you do. It's not individualized, it's not personalized for you. You're not going to find information about what's going to happen when your hormone pills stop working. You're not going to find information about what's going to happen when your pain pills, you don't need them anymore. That kind of information you get from a coach. So you need to have someone help you through this process. It's very easy to be like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for it. And then day 5, I'm only letting myself down. No, hire me. And then you'll be letting me down, and I'll be calling you like, what do you need? Great. I'll see you on July 1st for your second round. We're doing it again. The other thing you get when you join my group is you get lifetime subscription. You get a lifetime. Anytime you want to jump back in and do a Whole30, you come back and you do it with me again, and you don't pay for it again. So anytime you're ever feeling like, man, I need a reset. I'm doing really, really good with all my food, but I got my sugar cravings back. I got to do it again. And this is what happens. You start one little piece of sugar, one freaking ice cream sandwich will undo it all. Then you're like, I'm craving donuts. Shrissa, help me. And then we work through it again. So that's what you get. I believe you guys can do it on your own, but I really think you'll be more successful if you have a coach. So I'll be happy to talk to you about that more. Any questions about any of the things I talked about tonight? Yeah, go for it.
I know from talking with my sweet friend Bethany, and she's forwarded me some studies, that it's because it's taking my mind. We've been taught for so many years.
No
watch your
fat.
fats, you don't want to raise your cholesterol.
Yeah, no fat,
that kind of
low
thing.
cholesterol.
So this eating all that fat is not raising your cholesterol.
Okay, so an interesting thing about cholesterol, you need cholesterol in order to create cells. Every cell in your body needs cholesterol. The studies that are being done right now show that older individuals who have a higher cholesterol are also the ones that are healthier. So the ones that were forcing them to lower their cholesterol, we're putting them on statin drugs and we're saying oh, you have way too much cholesterol. They're also getting sick. Okay, my father-in-law's they told him your cholesterol is getting too high. They put him on those statin medications. You know what happened to him? He got shingles. He got shingles. Not because he lowered his cholesterol, because he lowered his body's defense against these problems. If you have shingles, it's already in your body. It'll come out, right? It just lives in your nervous system. But he never should have had the problem come out in the first place. He was a healthy enough individual. They told him oh, your prostate's fine, but it's starting to function a little lower, so we're going to put you on prostate medication. Oh, your cholesterol's on the edge, we're going to put you on cholesterol medication. It's a whole big, think about who's making the money here, okay? Cholesterol's not bad for you. You want to keep it in with the normal ranges, but normal range for you is going to be different from normal ranges for everybody else.
And also, isn't it sugar that raises bad cholesterol?
Sugar does everything bad. You can pretty much go back and say what's causing my problems? Oh my God, it's the sugar.
So you're not seeing the high like, so listen, I do this, 30 days.
Oh my God, no.
So I'm not
Feeding
I
fat
go
is
get
not
my
going to raise your cholesterol. No.
blood tested. And,
No. You're going to be good. You're
Well,
going
I
to be totally
should
good.
add a couple things to that. First is, what do you think is a lot of fat?
Bacon
What's
every
your
day.
benchmark?
Bacon,
Bacon
yeah.
every day, maybe cooking and those, bacon fat or,
Okay.
those types of things.
So on the Whole30, when you're eating like this, you should be getting 4 to 6 tablespoons of fat a day. Okay, so you can count and no double dipping. So if you're, and I say this to all my clients about everything, if you're, whatever is on your plate, if that's your protein, that's your protein. It doesn't count as protein and fat. If you have carbs on your plate, like a broccoli, cauliflower, kale, whatever, that's your carbohydrates. It doesn't get to count as anything else. Then you need a fat. Maybe you have a half of an avocado.
That's on top of that.
That's on top. Maybe you have a salad and you pour a tablespoon of good olive oil on it, something like that. And I'm not talking about like, oh, but I cooked with, for my whole family, a tablespoon of ghee in the pan. No, that's not enough. Now go drizzle some olive oil on top.
You're adding fat.
You need to add fat to your diet. Fat stops your body from going into that panic mode. Fat goes to your brain. Our brain is made up of 20% fat. It needs fat in order to function properly.
She eats bacon every day.
And I eat bacon every
She's
day.
also not 5 feet tall.
Nope, 5'10".
I'm 5'2",
Okay.
and I eat 6 tablespoons
No, I
minimum
hear
fat.
you.
Yeah. So I mean, absolutely, you got to get your fat in. You got to get your, good quality fats in. And when
And you
when
feel
you
better.
cut out,
You
oh my
feel
God, you're gonna feel so
sharper.
much better.
And
When
you're
you
never
cut the,
starving.
and you're not starving. When you cut out things like alcohol, sugar, grains, beans, legumes, soy, all of those things, and you add the fat in, you're not just gonna feel better. You're gonna feel better than you've ever known you could feel. And that's the problem. I can't tell you how good you're gonna feel because I don't even know how bad you feel now or how much further you can go. But really, legitimately, day 30, you come to me and you say like, holy crap, Sharissa, I feel so much better than I've ever felt in my life. I didn't know I could have this kind of energy. One of my favorite success stories is, sorry, P, I'll get right back to you. My girlfriend did one of my Whole30s a couple months back, and she drinks a pot of coffee a day. So she makes it every night. She has it preset, it goes off, and she has a pot of coffee every day. I'm fine with that. Like, if you need your coffee all day long, I'm not going to take it from you. What started happening is she'd go and, she goes to clean the coffee pot every night, and she started finding the coffee pot full. Like, what? I didn't even drink my coffee today. She didn't need it anymore. You don't need the fake energy source when your body's going to give it to you naturally. Now, I'm not telling you cut out your coffee, not even a little bit. But if it happens naturally where you're like, I guess I don't even need my cup of coffee today, or I don't need this 12th cup of coffee today. Fine, awesome. High five, man, I love it.
How about fruit though, if you're eliminating sugar?
Yeah.
I have Lyme disease and,
Okay.
and recently my candida was really high.
Yeah.
So they're telling me, the doctor's telling me to eliminate all fruit except for berries. Because,
On a candida diet, you could have berries? That seems backwards.
berries, but all and green apples.
Green apples are the only thing I keep in on a candida cleanse. That's it. Candida is so nasty, and it'll stay there for as long as you let it. So the way you cut it
So
out,
if I do the
a candida
Whole30
diet is
and eliminate-
95 the same percent, or like 95 the same, but 95% the same as a Whole30, except no fruit. 1 green apple a day. Because you gotta kill the candida. Add in some garlic, some compressed garlic capsules.
berries every day in my shake.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I would do green apple if you want. We have the Powda Arco tea, which is incredible for killing candida. You can bathe in it, you can drink it, do whatever you want with it. Add in the garlic. There's other good things you can do to kill candida. This is why I'm saying, you want to do this with someone, you get me, and I'll teach you with all that stuff. I do this for fun. This is something I do for fun. I'm a nutritionist, I run my own practice, I help people individually all day long. This is something I do to hopefully reach the masses and give you a good stepping stone into a much bigger process. Yeah.
What I wanted to add to
Sure.
is sometimes it becomes a whole 60 for people, or a whole 90. Like in my sister's case, she calls it whole life. Okay, so this isn't something that she went into it to understand what her emotional issues were with food, and for 30 days gave that to her after she was able to understand it, and now she understands, okay, I just can't go back to that
Right.
style of food anymore.
Well, and if
So
you
that's
do
that.
30 days, 30 days might not be enough for some people. I did 6 months because I was so broken that I needed much longer to heal. So some people get, varied results depending on how bad off you were in the first place. You're going to feel better no matter what after 30 days, but you could feel even better after 60, after 90, adding like little things here and there in. Like maybe you do the whole30, but then you add in a little bit of maple syrup or a little bit of coconut palm sugar. Then maybe on your 60-day mark, you allow yourself to have a glass of wine once a week or twice a week, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, then you find balance for yourself. And that's what I'm here to help you with too. This is a cookie cutter program that you can go online, you can print out the PDF, and you can say like, this is my grocery list. Or you could have someone who specifically guides you for you, based on what's going on with your individual needs. And that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. The information, free, all day long. You want my help? $200 for the month. You get in my group. You're in my group forever. You're in the private Facebook group where I post regularly every day, if not every other day. You get the recipes. You get the PDF that's sent to your email tonight. And you get 2 sessions with me. So it's an incredible opportunity if you want the help. All right, I'm going to sign this off. Good night.